In this tutorial, you're about to learn how to remove any green screen from any video. This is all done directly inside After Effects. There is zero additional plugins required. We're going to be using a tool called Keylight, which is built directly into the software, and within just a few clicks, you can delete any green screen background. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video so you don't miss out on the tips, the tricks, and the beginner mistakes that will make your green screen look really unprofessional. So without further ado, let's jump into the timeline. Okay, so we are inside After Effects, and the video we're going to be working with today is myself waving at the camera stood in front of a green screen. Now this is an absolute ideal scenario. The green screen is extremely flat and quite clean. There's a very good chance whatever you're working with might not be as precise, but it's not a problem because I'm going to show you all of the settings you can adjust to make sure you completely remove all of the green screen without anything extra. So what do we need to do first? So we need to head over to the Effects and Presets panel. For me, it's in the bottom right hand corner, but yours may be somewhere else. If you can't see it, just go to Window at the top of the page, select it once, and then make sure we have the Effects and Presets with the check mark next to it. All right, so we want to search for the effect called Keylight, and it will be called Keylight brackets 1.2, or if you're watching this in the future, maybe 1.3, 1.4. Drop and drag the Keylight effect onto the clip, and we can instantly see the settings for the effect appearing in the top left-hand corner. And this is where we're going to make the adjustments to our video. So the first thing we want to do is select the screen color. So using this eyedropper tool, I want you to select the area of the green or the blue background, it's the same concept, and we're going to select the color that we want to remove. So just by clicking once on this green part here, boom, it has instantly deleted it. Now this hasn't turned black, this has actually removed the background, and all of this black area now is transparent. And I'll prove that to you because I can drop and drag a photo into the project. We can scale that up a little bit. And then if I put it behind my video layer, we can see that there is now no longer a background behind me. So there we have it. That is the basic method of how to remove a green screen. But to make sure there's no green color that is spilled onto our subject, or just to make sure that we have got the most perfect mask possible, I'm going to show you all of the tips and tricks on how to refine the edge. So let's remove that background, and we want to make sure we are looking at the effects control. I'm going to talk you through all of these adjustable settings. So at the very top, we can see we have the view option. Now this is a drop-down menu that will show you different ways that we can view our mask. So the only two I would really recommend is the final result, because that is the finished product, or the combined matte. Now by selecting combined matte, we can see the subject switches to a white fill. Now the rule of thumb here is black is being deleted, white has been kept. So we can use the combined matte view whilst we're doing the adjustments to be able to be super precise on knowing what we are deleting and what we are keeping. So right now, just from swapping to the combined matte tool, we can see it's quite a soft edge we have here. We don't have a really crisp, defined line. So there's a little room for improvement we can do there. And now don't uncheck the box that says unpre-multiply result. You can just leave that for now. 99% of the time, you don't need to touch that. So next we have the screen gain. Now this number here is essentially how aggressive we are trying to remove the green screen background. So the default is 100, but if I turn that number up, then it will remove more of the green screen background, but it'll also start to remove the areas around the subject that's been left. And that's mainly because in the original video, there may have been some green kind of light spill onto the edges of the subject. So we can see the more we turn it up, the more it eats away at what's left. And obviously, if we go the other direction, it's gonna start to give us back more of the green screen. We can just see that here as well by switching to the final result view. So we turn the number down, keep the green screen, we turn the number up, removes the green screen. We keep going and it will remove more and more. So there's definitely no green screen, but often it will take some of the subject with it, which is not what we want. So next we have the despill bias and the alpha bias. Now I'm going to be honest with you, I've never really touched these before, but I have Googled it, so you know exactly what they do. Essentially, when Keylight removes the green from the background, it also tries to remove any green kind of spill onto the subject. So when it's removing kind of this green spill, that might be the light around the side of my face or maybe the edge of my clothes. This color here is essentially the color it's replacing it with. So 9 times out of 10, we can leave this as gray because that's just what looks the most natural, but that is what this color picker does. It essentially allows you to choose the color that is replaced when it removes the green spill onto the clothes and the hair. So like I said, 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't bother touching that. If your subject did originally look really green beforehand and now it looks like a weird color, then that is the setting that you're going to want to adjust. So heading down to the screen matte drop down, we can swap the view back to the combined matte to make it really clear. Now these are the settings we can adjust to really fine tune the edges of what is selected and not selected. Even though it's already done a fantastic job, I would probably adjust the clip white settings, and I would want it so that my jumper here is more of a pure white. And as well, if we look over at my hand, I can just turn up the clip black settings just a little bit, and that's probably just from the motion blur of me waving that is kind of creating that effect. So I'm just going to turn that up a little bit as well, just make that a little bit sharper. Now the next settings I find useful are the foreground color correction. So we'll just put it back to the normal view so we can see. So the foreground color correction, if we enable the color correction, essentially are just some super simple dials that we can change, which are going to adjust the saturation, the brightness and the contrast of our subject that is left. So the use cases for this option is if you've got your subject and you've put it in a new background, but the subject and the background, the colors don't really match and it doesn't feel very natural. It doesn't look like the subject is very realistically imposed into the environment. So these are just some really easy adjustments. For example, you can turn down the saturation a little bit, the contrast, the brightness, and if I just show you the before and after, just some really basic adjustments that are built directly inside of the Keylight tool, which I do find to be quite useful. Otherwise, you just have to head down to the effects panel again and add in brightness and saturation effect. So it's quite handy to just have it already there built in. Once again, we've got the same set of effects, but this one specifically applies to the edge of the mask. So if we enable it, then we could, for example, turn down the saturation, and we can see if we look at the corner of my hair. So if I turn down the saturation like loads and loads and loads, not a lot of color to the edge. If I turn it up loads, we can really see where all that saturation is hiding. And we can adjust this accordingly to really help blend in the edges to match the background color environment. And same again for brightness, contrast, all that sort of stuff. It's all pretty self-explanatory. Learning this green screen effect is way more useful than you think, because not only can you just cut the backgrounds out of, talking head videos, but there is a whole library either on YouTube or on other websites of free green screen videos. Now, these are useful because now you know how to delete the green backgrounds from videos. All of these free videos are now transparent graphics that you can use to enhance your YouTube videos, your short films, your music videos, whatever, because when you upload videos to YouTube, you can't upload them with a transparent background. It's not possible, but you can upload them with a green background. So just from a simple search on YouTube, just type in green screen and then basically anything, it could be a subscribe graphic, it could be memes, it could be transitions. All of these effects require you to know how to remove the green screen, which hopefully, if you're following along properly, you now know how to do. Let's just say we've downloaded this one from YouTube. We've got this cool subscriber graphic. Looks fantastic, but obviously we don't want the green background. What do? Drop and drag Keylight onto there, select the area, boom. That took about 3 seconds. You've now unlocked a massive free library of graphics that can take your content to the next level. There's also other websites like Pixabay, or really if you just type in green screen anything, I'm sure there's a video out there that you'll find useful. That is it for today's video talking about green screens. I hope you learned something. If you are a video editor who loves After Effects, then you will love my plugin Quick Draw. You may have seen it in the top right hand corner of this video, but this is essentially your one-stop shop for any useful button that you could wish existed in After Effects. It does right here. One click, we can create text layers, null layers, shape layers, adjustment layers. We can instantly scale stuff up or down. We can center align what we've got selected. We can add velocity curves, instantly export videos with one button. But my two absolute favorite buttons that I've added to it are the clear cache button. So with one click, it will remove all of that junk from your After Effects that is slowing you down massively. That's probably just removed like 100 gigabytes worth of rubbish. Or the audio hardware shortcut, which with one click, it will open up the option to change your audio settings. Because I don't know about you, but I'm often editing on my laptop out from the speakers, and then I'm going on my headphones, I'm going on the laptop, and just those few extra clicks to try and swap back to my headphones really winds me up. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. If there's anything else specific you want to learn, whether that's After Effects, Premiere Pro, or just general video editing, let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.